at this point, what I'm hoping to see, the reason why we keep talking, it's not because we want to contest, positions of ministers or necessarily want to debate them or make them look bad, So we really want to improve the system. A lot of the things that we say are backed by significant recollection of history, of how this industry has functioned over time, how the problems and challenges have trended over time. And the solutions we have proposed over time don't get absorbed into the conversation, and the problem persists. So the recollection of history really doesn't change what the reality is. And sometimes also you really will see that, how the recollection doesn't paint the true picture. And that is where the problem even is. If you really want to tell us what the problem of the energy sector is today, you can appreciate that the past government contributed to it. But you cannot paint a picture that the current government is an angel in the situation. That will be an unfair treatment of the situation and the problem that we have within our context. I mean, they talk about excess capacity contracts that have been signed. Technically, you do know that the challenge Ghana had in the past was that when you sign a PPA, the chances of that PPA succeeding was about 10%. Because a contractor comes to sign a PPA, it is now going to raise financing on the market and be able to come and deliver the project. Most of them don't come back to develop those projects. So that is why you had many PPAs that were non-functional or were not delivering. All right, so you had most of the PPAs that would never have proceeded, whether government says it canceled them or it suspended them. They would never have happened. All right, so that is a very honest conversation to really have when you are painting the picture. Some of them were, deferred, which was a good thing. But there were some of them that actually proceeded that we thought could also have been deferred if we were diligent to look at the specifics of those contracts to really ensure that we generate value for money. Contracts like AXA, contracts like GPP, which finally became a judgment debt of about $160 million on us, even though the entire contract was about 130. Quick decisions, quick fixes could have resolved that, because by 2017, those contracts had not even kicked in. So penalties could have been $10 million, $15 million. But we waited, indecision consumed us, and we waited until the plants were here before we canceled the project. So those are significant, problems that has to be absorbed into the conversation for us to be honest about, what we are saying. Transmission infrastructure and its problems. We have known, since 2012, when, clear documents show that we needed to improve the transmission system. 2014, when we were going to get into the concession arrangement, we knew that much of the problem has to deal with ECGs, non-collection, inefficiencies, and we needed to raise money to be able to pay the value chain. And that is why government agreed that we need to do the concession arrangement. How did that fail? It's part of the history, all right? We need to recollect that. How much has we invested as a system? You pay your bill, I pay my bill, consumers pay their bills. How much of that goes to invest in the transmission system to ensure that we don't have the situation that we have today, to expand the infrastructure, to accommodate the projected and trended demand over time? We failed to do that. We didn't invest over time. And everybody, technical and knowledgeable in the space, knows that the problem has been money. GRICO hasn't had the money to invest to expand the transmission infrastructure. So it's not about, criticizing, but for us to come to that position where we appreciate the truth and say that going forward, this is how we have to plan our system. This is the honesty that we need to inject into the space to ensure that we don't keep talking about this problem. We're getting tired of 10 years of blaming the past and not fixing the situation and the problem. The Americans are giving us money to do Pokwasi and Kaswa. Take that money out. What would the sector have been able to do on its own? GRICO today says that they need $700 million to be able to do the other infrastructure that is required. Where is the money going to come from? That is what you need a minister to tell you. How do you fix the system for the system to raise $700 million to build the new infrastructure that is required, so that when you have fixed Pokwasi, Ho will not have the problem. When you have fixed Kaswa, Cape Coast will not have the same problem. Takrady will not have the same problem. Kumasi will resolve its problem. Sunyani will resolve its problem. It's a system. It's a country that we are working on. So let's get honest here. Let's speak to the realities and fix the problem. And that is what we stand for. That's what we are actually looking for, and not to really, exchange words and banter with politicians. And that honesty for me is not coming out. And that is why we keep blaming 60 years of infrastructure. Where is that infrastructure? Unless we are talking about Akosombo, there is no 60-year-old transmission infrastructure here. We have replaced them. We have upgraded them. We needed to continue the upgrade, which we failed to do. And that is why we have the problem that we are having today. There's no transformer in this country that's from 1960. You see, and if the technical people have been correcting the minister time over time, I'm not sure he would have repeated that about 4 consecutive times that I've heard him say that. All right, so let's debate, let's improve conversation and absorb the relevant solutions and track history much more appropriately so we can fix this problem. Otherwise, you will fix Pokuase and you then realize that you need to do another transmission line from Pokuase to Kumasi, which there is no money on the table to do today. All right, to be able to fix Kumasi's problem much more permanently and fix Koforidua problem, fix the rest of the country's problems. As we speak, Tamale has been going off persistently, and statements will be issued. We are repairing this, we are repairing that. It has to do with the integrity of the infrastructure to be able to deliver the power. Where is the money going to come from to fix that? I'm happy that solutions have been proposed, at least for the distribution side, but it's been more rhetorical than real actions, okay? And that is why we are not fixing the distribution sector. We know that if we don't fix ECG, we are not fixing anything. The debt accumulation, the reality is that the debt that we are accumulating is more than what we are paying. I heard the minister say that the debt accumulation has reduced. It's not true. The payment of government from government doesn't mean that you are reducing the debt. The energy sector debt is increasing. It is ballooning as we increase generation, as we increase transmission and distribution. People are stealing more power. We don't have a solution to it. Recently, we did a paper that casually moved around Greater Accra and Ashanti region, and we got 3,600 illegal meters. It has become an accepted norm in this country for ECG workers to look at a consumer who has consumed so much power and destroy the meter and replace it with a new one so that they don't pay their electricity bill. We're not going to fix that with a press conference. It needs engineering solution. It needs investment. It needs punishing people. And that is what we want to hear. How do we fix that going forward? How do we resolve the challenges that we have beyond the speeches? And the speeches have, unfortunately, outpaced action. They have outpaced planning and also delivering on what we really need to deliver.